Story of the Kitchen Manager. Once upon a time, the Lord of Omura and his wife had a son. The Lord was extremely happy and named the baby Mimishigane. But unfortunately, when Mimishigane was 3 years old, his mother passed away. Not long after that, the Lord took a new wife. When Mimishigane was 9 years old, the Lord had to go to Edo, so he was away from home for 3 months. He instructed his wife, "While I'm away, you don't have to do anything. Just let me comb Mimishagane's hair every day." Then the Lord left. Once upon a time, the Lord of Omura and his wife had a son. The Lord was extremely happy and named the baby Mimishigane. But unfortunately, when Mimishigane was 3 years old, his mother passed away. Not long after that, the Lord took a new wife. When Mimishigane was 9 years old, the Lord had to go to Edo, so he was away from home for 3 months. He instructed his wife, "While I'm away, you don't have to do anything. Just replace me and comb Mimishagane's hair every day." After that, the Lord set out. As soon as the boat carrying the Lord left the port, the stepmother immediately changed her attitude and began to torment Mimishigane mercilessly. Every day, she catches him, "Come on. Go up the mountain to find firewood and bring it back here for me." He had just returned from work when he said, "Take care of cleaning the garden." The boy had to work continuously without any rest. Of course, she didn't even brush him once. Mimishigane's head was full of lice. 3 months passed, and the day came when the boat carrying the Lord arrived. Mimishigane reminded her stepmother, "Mom, let's go pick up Dad." But the stepmother said, "You go first. Let's do our hair and come back." As soon as Mimishigane left, she stabbed herself in the face with a razor, then covered herself with a blanket and slept. Mimishigane went to the boat to welcome his father. The Lord was very surprised to see him dirty. "Why are you so messy and dirty?" "Because Mom doesn't take care of you." "Where is Mom?" "Mom said let me fix my hair and come pick up Dad later. But I waited forever and didn't see her come out." The Lord and Mimishigane returned home. The wife was still lying there covered in blankets. "Since you knew I was coming, why didn't you go to the boat to meet me and instead slept like that? What is up?" When the Lord asked, she peeked out from under the blanket. "Look what your child did to me." As soon as the boat took him off, the boy kept cursing, "This stepmother," and "that stepmother," and then used a razor to injure him. "I can't go out with a face like this, so I have to stay at home and can't go pick you up." Without having time to ask the story in detail, the Lord got angry. "An ungrateful son like you, go somewhere out of my sight." Having said that, he chose the strongest horse and 4 beautiful kimonos among them. Brought gifts from Edo and threw them at Mimishigane and kicked him out of the house. Mimishigane wore a kimono, rode a horse, and headed south. Walking and walking, he came to a river 1,000 miles long and about a mile wide. Mimishigane thought to himself, "The river is so long and wide, how can I go upstream or downstream?" Then he ventured, "Mimishigane's horse, let's give it a try." Then he whipped the horse's butt. Not disappointing him, the horse gently galloped across the wide river. Mimishigane kept walking, until he came to a mountain of thorn flowers as high as piercing 9 clouds. The big mountain made him not know whether to go left or turn right. Then he whipped the horse again. "Mimishigane's horse, give it a try." The horse nodded. He whipped the whip again, and the horse flew over the top of the mountain. Then Mamish walked again and again, until he met an old man cutting grass in a rice field. "Old man, old man, is there any house in the village that needs hired workers? The landlord's house in the west has 35 workers, but unfortunately one person just passed away. Today is the first full week of retirement. You should try going to that house and asking. But I wonder if anyone would hire a person who wears such a beautiful kimono and rides a strong horse like this? Then you can exchange your farming outfit with this kimono for me." "No way! If I wear a beautiful kimono like this, I will be punished by heaven. I give you this farming outfit. Old man. It's thanks to you. Please change it for me. Besides, please lend me a trunk. I want to keep the kimonos and bring them here along with the saddle." "Okay," the old man said, then changed the clothes for you. Not only that, he also lent him the trunk. Mamish put on his farming clothes and put the remaining 3 kimonos and saddle in his chest. He let the horse into a large bamboo forest about a mile away, then asked the old man to lead him to the western landlord's house. Mamish said, "Please let me work here." Luckily, the landlord accepted immediately. He went to work for the landlord's house. But as soon as he went to cut the grass, he turned back and said to the owner, "I always cut my hands, I can't cut the grass. Let me clean the garden." The boss agreed, then this time, "My hands are calloused, I can't garden. Please let me work in the kitchen." The boss had to say, "Well, do whatever you want." So Mamish asked to borrow 7 workers and asked for a day off. He assigned 1 person to carry soil, 1 person to carry stones, 2 people to carry water, 1 person to cut straw, and the remaining 2 people to shape the soil and make 7 kitchens. After that, he cooked 3 meals a day from these 7 stoves. Rice cooks quickly. Until now, in the landlord's house, breakfast was not available until noon, lunch was not available until evening, and dinner was not eaten until midnight. So this time, thanks to you, everyone wakes up in the morning and has breakfast on time. At noon there is lunch, and in the evening when the sun goes down there is dinner. No need to wait. The boss was extremely happy. "I have found the kitchen manager. You stay here and work for me." Until one day, there was a festival in the area. The boss told the kitchen manager, "Tomorrow I will go to the theater. Please prepare breakfast a little earlier than today and prepare a box of lunch for me." The next day, the weather was sunny. Early in the morning, Mamish got up early, cooked rice, and prepared lunch to take with him. The boss said, "Chef, will you come with me?" But Mamish said, "Today is the 3rd anniversary of my mother's death. I can't go to places to celebrate and have fun. So you stay at home and take care of the house." We went to see a play. After that, the boss let everyone in the family follow. As soon as everyone left, the chef took off his dirty farming clothes and went to take a shower. After that, he went to the old man's house, dressed in a beautiful kimono, sturdy shoes, called the horse from the bamboo forest, saddled it and set off. He arrived at the festival area, stood on the north side of the stage and shouted, "Watch Mamish horse fly." Then he cracked the whip. The horse flew across the south side of the stage. The audience watching the play was extremely surprised. "Oh! God descends to earth. Everyone quickly stand up and worship." Everyone rushed and simultaneously worshipped the kitchen manager. Only the landowner's daughter said, "Oh, he's our kitchen manager. There's a black mark on the left ear." Hearing that, the landowner interrupted, "Don't be disrespectful to the gods. Hurry up and bow." The girl bowed and giggled. The chef returned before everyone, let the horse go into the bamboo forest, sent the kimono back to the old man's house, changed into farming clothes and put the bamboo stove as a pillow to sleep on. The boss arrived and called, "Kitchen manager. Chef. Quickly open the gate." When he went to open the gate, the boss said, "If only you would follow me." Today, a god descended to the scene of the play. Everyone worshipped. Is there really such a thing? If only I would go too. There will be another drama the day after tomorrow. Remember to get up early to cook and prepare lunch boxes. That day, the kitchen manager got up early again, preparing food for everyone. Will you go too? Today is the anniversary of my grandfather's death. I can't go to fun places. The boss left the kitchen manager alone at home and took all the servants away. As soon as everyone left, the chef took off his clothes and took a shower. After that, he went to the old man's house, got a kimono, put on clogs, called a horse from the bamboo forest and saddled it. Just then, the landlord's daughter forgot her shoes and returned home alone. The kitchen manager let her ride the horse with him and set off. He stood on the east side of the stage, watch Mamishigane's horse fly. He shouted loudly, cracking his whip. The horse flew to the west. The audience watching the opera all stood up and bowed happily. Today the gods go with their wives. The chef and the landowner's daughter returned first. Mamishigane let the horse go back to the bamboo forest, changed his clothes and lay down to sleep again, his head resting on the bamboo stovepipe. The landlord's daughter complained of back pain and retreated to the corner of the room. The landowner came back and said, "If only I would take you with me today." God even brought his wife there. Is that really a thing? Knowing that, it would be nice if I would go along. The kitchen manager replied. The boss entered the house and saw his daughter complaining of back pain. He was about to call the doctor when the girl said, "Don't call the doctor, call the magician." The father called the female magician to come and she said, "This is a disease caused by the mistress's relationship with a hired worker in the house. Let the 17 boys work in the house and prepare properly to meet the mistress. Surely the mistress will find someone who has a relationship with her." The master sent 17 young men working in the house to meet the young mistress. However, the mistress could not choose anyone. The father was worried, "Are there any other male servants in the house?" The captain spoke up, "Number. Only the dirty kitchen manager remains." The landlord ordered, "The kitchen manager is like you. Let him prepare to meet my daughter. And give him my old clothes." The kitchen manager washed himself, took the clothes his boss gave him, wiped himself, and threw them into the pig pen. After that, he took the good clothes that someone else lent him and wiped himself, then threw them into the stable. Even the beautiful jacket was used as a towel and thrown into the toilet. After that, the cook went to the old man's house, changed into the kimono he had sent there, put on wooden shoes, called the horse back from the bamboo forest, mounted the saddle and rode back to the landlord's house. The boss was extremely surprised to see the kitchen manager turn into a handsome young man, so he took his hand and led him into his daughter's room. As soon as the girl saw the boy, she smiled, and soon the pain disappeared. The father said, "I really don't have eyes for people. I will give you my daughter in marriage, become my son-in-law." So Mimishagane married the owner's only daughter. They celebrated for 3 days and 3 nights. On the 4th day, Mimishagane said to the landlord, "Give me 3 days off. I want to go back to visit my father." "Well, 3 days won't do. I'll give you just 1 day today." Mimishagane had a day off and went home to visit his father. His wife asks, "Are you going by sea or by forest?" Mimishagane replied, "By sea, it takes 3 days to arrive. It only takes 1 day to go on a forest road, so we go on a forest road. If we go on a forest road, mulberries will fall onto the saddle. But he definitely must not eat the fruit of that tree no matter how thirsty his throat is. If you are weak-hearted and eat the fruit of that tree, we will never see each other again. I know. Definitely will not eat the fruit of the mulberry tree." Mimishagane said goodbye to his wife and then rode on horseback. As he was walking through the forest, sure enough, the fruit of the mulberry tree fell on the saddle. Because his wife had carefully advised him, at first he did not touch it. However, the more he walked, the more dry his throat became. Finally, he could not help but ate a fruit. Immediately, he collapsed dead on horseback. The horse kept carrying the dead Mimishagane on its back and ran. When climbing a hill, it bends its front legs, and when going downhill, it bends its back legs, trying its best to keep its owner from falling to the ground. Then, it finally returned to Omura, where Mimishagane was born and raised. The horse ran to the Lord's house, stood in front of the gate and neighed 3 times. He. Dot. He. Dot. Dot exclamation mark. The Lord heard the horse neighing and told his wife, "That's Mimishagane's horse, but why didn't the boy call out, 'Dad, Dad,' but only the sound of the horse neighing 3 times? That's strange, why don't you come out and see?" The wife went to open the gate when suddenly the horse rushed in and ate her alive. The Lord saw Mimishagane's body on horseback and said, "It's not like he came back alive, but he died like this, what happened?" Having said that, he put Mimishagane's body into the wine barrel and closed the lid. As for Mimishagane's wife, she never saw her husband return, so she thought to herself, 3 days have passed. He must have eaten the fruit of the mulberry tree and died along the way. She bought about 1 liter of shijuru, reviving the dead, water, then set out to find her husband. The wife only needed half a day to complete the forest path that the horse had to travel all day, and arrived in front of Mimishagane's house gate. "Excuse me, may I ask if this is Mimishagane's house?" The Lord stepped out. "That's right. If so, please let me see your body." She spoke, but the Lord replied, "I cannot let strangers see my child's body. Please tell me, I'm not a stranger. I am Mimishagane's wife. After becoming my husband, on the 4th day, he said he was going home to visit his parents and didn't come back, so I went looking for him. Please let me look at you." "Really? I understand. Please come in quickly," the Lord said, and brought Mimishagane's body out from the wine barrel. Mimishagane seemed to be sleeping. The wife quickly sprinkled shijuru water all over his body. Then, Mimishagane came back to life and said, "I slept all day. I slept at night." The wife was happy. He doesn't sleep during the day, nor does he sleep at night. I told him not to eat mulberries, but he kept eating and died. I sacrificed my life to use Shizuru water to revive him. Come on, let's go home. But the Lord spoke up. This is my only son. Can't let it go anywhere. The wife said, then please come with us. But Mamishigane said, I cannot take care of two fathers at the same time. Father, please find a good adopted son. I must return to my wife's house, the person who saved my life. Then, Mamishigane and his wife returned to the Western landlord's house. Both people lived together happily until now. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.